Hey everyone, Skull902 here, and holy hell, finally, finally I am playing a Nintendo game. This is Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, which came out in 1989. It was a launch game for the system, um, and it was a pretty good way to start the Game Boy off, in my opinion. It's a pretty fun Mario game, and it's a very interesting, weird one as well. Like there are a lot of things that are quite different from traditional Mario. Like this, for instance. You may have noticed that I got a flower, but that's not a fireball. That is not a fireball. That wasn't a fire flower. The power up that I got from that was the Super Ball, and the Super Ball is pretty interesting. You shoot the Super Ball and it'll bounce, of course. It's best in places with ceilings so that you can get like a whole bunch of coins. And let me tell you, you definitely want coins in this game more than like a lot of other Mario games, because in this one, coins are very essential, and that's sort of like the thing with this one, is that you need to collect lives like crazy. Because it's not a perfect game, and I'll explain why after talking about this. There are 2 exits in each level. If you go to the top exit, you get this little mini game here, where you got a ladder and 4 levels. Unfortunately, I got the flower there, and that was something that I already had, so I got nothing from that. But if you're small Mario or you're just Super Mario, you can get the Super Ball from that mini game, and of course you can also get 3, 2, or 1 life. So it's a pretty helpful one. So you gotta make sure that you can get to that mini game, because if you can't, then it's gonna be a hard time in this game for sure. But as far as what I was talking about with the importance of lives in Super Mario Land is, the game isn't perfect. It's definitely, like, you can tell this was Mario's first handheld adventure, because Mario's momentum and his movement are a little weird, just like in the original Super Mario Brothers, but it's definitely much more pronounced in this game. Because Mario can go from like 0 to 60 in a second, and he doesn't really have all that much momentum when you're jumping diagonally. So you definitely gotta watch out and whatnot. For tight platforming like this, I actually like to let go of the run button, just to give myself a little more accuracy with my jumps, because Mario can overshoot them as well because of how like quick it takes for him to start running at full speed. So you definitely gotta watch out for extra lives and whatnot. Break all the blocks that you can in case a heart comes out, and get a bunch of coins, and know where your bonus rooms are and everything like that. That's basically it. And this game does have a palette for the Super Game Boy, but unfortunately in the VBA emulator, for some reason I can't get that to work, so I'm playing it with the original palette. And there are some points in this particular level where there will be tiles from the ceiling that come down and try to hit you, and let me tell you, it's kind of annoying. I remember most of them from like experience playing the game now, but you'll see later on that there's one that gets me, because I always think that it's going to be 2 tiles, and then it ends up being 3. So that's a bit of idiocy on my part, but yeah. So these bonus rooms, again, very helpful to the cause of getting you some more lives, and I can't stress that enough as far as like strategy with playing this game is concerned. You want to get extra lives as much as you possibly can. Because if you don't, then you're definitely gonna get a game over, and that's what I was talking about there. It's so hard to tell, like if you're a first time player, or like if you haven't memorized things like I have, and even then I thought that there was one less than there actually was. But it's hard, man, to know when the tiles are gonna fall down. So that's something you definitely got to look out for. But we did it. Beat World 1 here. There's 4 worlds in this game, 3 levels apiece. And, oh, got the princess already. And it's Daisy this time. Oh, wait, what? Huh. You turned into a big fly. I don't remember the rest of Josh's joke. I'm sorry, Josh. That was many years ago now. I'm, of course, referring to the playthrough that Josh and I commentated on for Super Chaos Comms. So there's a bit of a thing for you. Now, Super Mario Land, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one. It's Princess Daisy. It takes place in it's Sarasaland, not the Mushroom Kingdom, and you've got a lot of real world influence with the worlds in this game. So like the last one was based on Egypt with all the pyramids and stuff. I'm forgetting where this one is based off of. Oh, it's okay. It's Bermuda. So you got that, and then the third world is based on Easter Island, and then the fourth one is based on China. So a bit of real-world influence in a Mario game. That's not something you usually see. Pretty much this in Super Mario Odyssey, as far as I'm aware. But you know, you've also got these weird enemies that you only see in this game, and then for the familiar ones, like we saw Koopas just then, but they're like bombshell Koopas. You know. And that's not something that was really seen all that much. When you jump on a Koopa in this game, their shell explodes. Like, you can't slide it along to hit other enemies and stuff. A lot of enemies, well, I suppose there's only Goombas and Koopas in this one from other games, but they retain their Japanese names in the manual here. You got these fucking Horsies from Pokemon here. Clearly it wasn't a reference to Pokemon, because that hadn't come out yet, but they sure do look like Horsey. It's just a little stranger than your usual Mario fare, and it makes for a unique experience, in my opinion, playing this game here. So, yeah, it's a fun one, though. I quite like it. Like, I first got this game in 2004, actually. My older brother, I don't know how he got it, but he got an original Game Boy, and this game with it. And I played it for a little bit, back when I was 10 years old and whatnot. Had a bit of a difficult time because, again, like I said, you're gonna run out of lives in this one pretty fast, and that's why you gotta, you know, seek out so many coins and all that shit. But I first played this one in 04 for a little bit, and then that Game Boy like stopped working or something. And then when I was given my little brother's GBA SP, this was pretty much all that I played on it. So I had like some experience playing this, and I had a bunch of fun, and then, like, I know I still have the game and my Game Boy and whatnot, but I don't remember, like, where they are. But that meant that I didn't play this game for a while until, like, many years later, when I like got my USB Super Nintendo controller and VBA on my grandma's computer, VBA being the emulator that I used to play these Game Boy games. You know, I tried and tried and tried, but I just couldn't beat the game until last year when I made an attempt. And that was pretty fun. Was actually playing with Josh, who I did the commentary for on Super Chaos Comms, like I said. And that's still like my favorite thing I've ever done commentary for. That was a fun little time that Josh and I had. But yeah, so that's basically my sort of experience with Super Mario Land here before we get into the last level. And let me tell you, the last level of this world is quite a strange one. It's appropriate to the game, but now we have suddenly shmup. Mario is riding what I believe is called the Marine Pop. It's a little submarine, and he's going around firing torpedoes at all these like monsters and shit, and it's so strange, this game. I can't stress that enough. And like, we got the Starman, and when you get invincibility, it plays the can for some reason. Like, this game is a bit of an oddity. That might have something to do with this actually is the only game in the Mario franchise, if I'm not mistaken, to not be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto. Instead, it was produced by Gunpei Yokoi, who was the original designer of the Game Boy and who also created the Metroid franchise. I guess he put his own personal spin on Super Mario here, and definitely makes for a unique, interesting game. It's a fun little time waster. You got like half an hour, 40 minutes, and definitely try it out, in my opinion. But we're just about to the boss now, and what I like about the boss here is that you don't have to actually fight it, which is something I'm going to demonstrate. It looks like a Kingdra, but whatever. So again, you don't have to fight it, and that's what I like about this boss, is that it gives you an alternate way. You can just blast through those blocks. Fuck the boss. But yeah, so that was my slightly rambly first part of Super Mario Land, and I shall see you all for part 2. Take care.